Welcome to a video on the topic of how to farm Forma and how to use it, what it does. Now, of course, off the bat, if you are not a new player, the information in this video might not be as useful to you. You probably already know most of the things, and also if you are not a new player, there are a key couple of things where you can get Forma, such as sorties and maybe somewhere else that I'm not going to go into because they actually do involve spoilers for the quest line of the game. But as a new player, you are going to be needing quite a bit of Forma in your experience in Warframe. Now, I don't want to just waste time and pad the video out. I do want to really get into it. So the first and foremost place where you're probably going to get Forma blueprints is by cracking Relics. Now, I did go over this in a previous video, but you have 4 tiers of relics. You've got your Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii, and the lower the tier, the lower the era, being Lith is the lowest, Axii is the highest, the more Forma rich the relics will be. So Lith will have a lot of blueprints for Forma, Meso will have a little bit less, Neo will have a little bit less, and Axii will have a little bit less. So if you really want to farm up your Forma blueprints, you're probably going to be doing a lot of Lith relics. You can see there's a blueprint there, there's not one there, there's one there, there's one there, there. There's a lot of Forma in Lith relics, as you can see, quite a lot of Forma blueprints. So that's primarily where I would go. I would pop some relics if I want to get some Forma blueprint. Now, as a new player, cracking relics is pretty simple. I'm not going to go too much into detail about that, but essentially up here you have your little toolbar in the top right when you're in your star chart. Here's your star chart, and just this little squiggly tribal tattoo, you click that, this will bring up your void fissures. Select any one of these missions. If you're running Lith, like I would recommend, you can see here every mission will tell you what node it's on, what planet, the level, what the mission type is, the enemies you face, and if it's a Lith fissure or if it's a Meso, Neo, or Axii. So again, I recommend doing Lith. So pick a Lith, go in there, wait for enemies to get like struck by lightning, or you'll hear like the crack of lightning, a sound effect. They'll turn golden, they'll become corrupted enemies. Corrupted enemies will drop reactant. Pick up 10 reactant. Once you have your 10 reactant, at the end of the mission your relic will open, and then RNG will happen, and you have your chance of getting your Forma blueprint. Pop your relics in public lobbies. Don't do them solo, because when you pop them in public lobbies, you'll find that Lith missions, a lot of the time, you'll actually be doing them with a lot of new players as well, such as yourselves. Sometimes with, players that are a little bit further on in progress, but the more players in there, the more relics are being popped per mission. You can choose what reward you want at the end. Say if somebody else gets a Forma blueprint and you don't, you can go ahead and pick that blueprint, or maybe somebody gets a rare piece, you can go ahead and pick that piece instead. Now that's primarily where I would recommend getting your Forma from, but there are some other places where you can get your Forma blueprints, and that's the daily tribute. So logging in every day after your daily reset. I actually have a reset that I can go and get right now, so I'll just go to my roots real quick and back out. Just logging into the game, you have a chance to get a blueprint for a Forma. When you open in your void relics, of course, if you're doing those missions in the void itself, you can get rare containers in the void. They have a chance of dropping blueprints for Forma, or even a crafted Forma. So I got Endo this time.
Good stuff here, Tenno.
Awoken Derelict Defense. Now, the Derelict is accessible and it's not too difficult for newer players. So if you go into the market, into keys, just over here, and we can go type in Awoken Derelict. You can see a bunch of Derelict keys like here. Where's the one you want? This one, Awoken Derelict Defense. You buy this blueprint once and it's a reusable blueprint, so you can keep making it. Craft these. You need a key to access the Derelict. You need one for every type of mission, and then once you finish the mission, that key is actually then consumed. So you can go into the Awoken Derelict Defense, and then every 5 waves counts as a reward rotation, and there are 4 rotations that you can get. So there will be A, B, and then C. So the first 5 waves will be from reward pool A, then the next 5 for 10 will be from reward pool A, and then the next 5 for 15 waves will be from reward pool B, and then the next 5 for a total of 20 waves will be from reward pool C. The C table reward pool has a chance of giving you Forma blueprints, of course, so essentially every 20 waves you get a chance of getting a Forma blueprint over in the Derelict Defense mission. Doing invasions, you see this little power fist up here? These are your invasions, and you can see you just hover over which one and it will tell you the enemies that you can be facing. So this is infestation, so you will be fighting infestation, but it will tell you the planet and the type of invasion that it is. So this is forward. Here's Corpus Siege, so you can fight either Grineer or fight the Corpus, and you can see your rewards. And sometimes you can actually get one that will say Forma, so you can also farm a Forma blueprint from there. Earth sabotage missions. So Sentients on Earth. Completing this mission, if you find the 3 rare caches in this sabotage mission, so the third one has a 2% chance of giving you a Forma blueprint, but that third rare cache also has a 0.5% chance of giving you a fully built Forma, so you don't actually have to build the Forma, it will just give you one built just like that. Of course, we did go over the Void missions in the Void. If they have a rare container and you crack that rare container open, you'll know what a rare container is. It will be glowing and it will hum and it will sound all mystical, and you want to go over to that and crack that open. Rare containers can contain built Forma. The first Void mission you'll ever be doing is Tenno right here. This is straight from Phobos, and Phobos isn't difficult to get. That's just connected to Mars, so it's a couple of hours playing and you'll be in the Void being able to do that if you want. Nakak in Cetus only during the Operation Plague Star event. Nakak will update her Fender listing and you can actually buy Forma from her, fully built Forma, for operational standing and credit. I believe it was, I think it was either 2,000, no, it was 3,000 supply standing and 5,000 credits, and you can just stock up and Forma from her, so that's very useful. Hopefully we get a Plague Star event soon. We haven't had one for a while. A lot of new players can benefit from doing that, and it's also get some cool weapon parts as well to make for the source. Nightwave. If you have been doing Nightwave, you can notice that you can get some Forma here. At rank 7 you'll get 3 built Forma, and then where is it, at rank 27 you can get 3 built Forma. That will probably carry over into the next session of Nightwave when that rolls around as well, so there might be some more Forma in the future too for you just to get just by playing. Now, as said, there are a couple of key locations that I have left out, but mainly because new players won't actually be able to access those locations, and I don't want to detail them because of the significance of that location itself is somewhat a spoiler. Buying Forma. If you want to buy Forma, don't buy this. Buy this. See, if you buy the single Forma, you are paying 20 platinum per 1 Forma. However, if you buy the Forma bundle, you're paying 35 platinum for 3 Forma. Now, I did also say, how do you use Forma? What does it do? And that is also an extremely key part to the game. So, we have here a level 30 Warframe. And you can see my capacity is 30 out of 30. Now, you can double this capacity. If you go down here, bottom right, actions, you can see if you have yourself an awoken reactor, you can install that and that will go up to 60. I'm not going to put one on Atlas, it's not a frame I enjoy, but just in case you want to double your capacity, very important, you can go and do that. Forma. Now, you can only Forma a Warframe or a weapon if it's level 30. So, once you have a Forma, you can click it in actions. As I said, just go in actions and you hit this middle button here, polarization, click that, and then it will bring up this screen. Now, this is important to know. Clicking any of these mod slots, you see these little symbols, these are your polarities. Forming a mod slot will add a polarity to it or remove it if that's what you want, and it can open up stronger builds down the line for you with your Warframes, but the more slots you Forma, sometimes the more restrictive your modding can get if you want to use multiple builds per Warframe. When you Forma something, you can see up here, rank 30, you have to be rank 30 to Forma something. The moment you Forma it, that will go down to 0, and you have to level it again. Once you've got that back up to 30, you can Forma it again, and again, and again, and again, as long as you keep going back and forth with the leveling up phase. But one thing to note, you do not gain extra mastery from leveling any weapon or any Warframe back up to 30. There is one very specific unique case where you do get extra mastery, but that's only because after you Forma it, you can get another 2 levels on that item. So it'll go from 30 to 32, 34, 36, 38, and then 40, and that's only one case. And like I said, for new players, you are nowhere near that case yet, so don't worry about it. Now the polarities themselves, as you can see, let's pretend this capacity 30 out of 30, let's just say that's our bank, our wallet, right? We've got $30. So what I wanted to do here, you can see here this little slash polarity, that means this mod slot has been polarized for mods that have slash. So we'll go to, or a dash, we'll go to our dash mods right now. So you can see there, if I put, say, let's use flow. If I put flow in a non-polarized mod slot, we now have a bank capacity of 21, so it went down by 9. And you can see here in the top right of this mod card it says 9. It's going to take 9 capacity. If we put it in a slot that's been polarized to match the mod, you can see it actually doesn't take as much capacity whatsoever. So what actually happens with mods, when you match capacities, it'll actually halve how much is actually being used. Now, flow has 9. This game doesn't half 9 into 4.5. What it will do is the moment you put it in a matching mod slot, it will round it up to the nearest number, 10, and then half it, so you'll get 5. So there is somewhat a level of math to doing this with your Warframes when it comes to forming and building. Now one thing to note when modding as well is also that if you slot a mod in to a slot that doesn't have a matching polarity, and I mean it's already been polarized but the polarity doesn't match that of a mod, the original cost of that mod would actually go up by 25% of the cost of that mod. So Constitution here is 13, and if I put that into the slot to the left, you can see it goes up to 16. Now of course 25% of 13 isn't 16, but it rounds it to the nearest whole number that it would originally be. So 25% of 13 is actually 16.25. Now the game can't do that, so it's just going to put it to 16 because 16 is the closest whole number to the actual value. Now of course if I put in prime continuity, this is a mod that costs 14. Now if I put it in there, that goes up to 18, but obviously 25% of 14 isn't 18, it's 17.5, but it rounds it up to the closest highest number. Also at the very top of your mod bar you can see there is a mod slot with just like a little triangle in the top middle of it. Right at the top there, that is your aura mod slot, so you can put your aura mods into there, and that will actually also increase the overall capacity that you can use on your build. So putting mods into the aura mod slot doesn't actually take capacity, it gives it. If the polarities are matching, then it will actually give you double the amount, but if the polarities aren't matching, you still get extra capacity, just not as much. So that's the importance of Forma. That's where to farm built Forma and also Forma blueprints. That's what polarizing does, and you'll be doing a whole lot of it in Warframe on your journey. It's just something you're going to have to get used to. You will always need Forma until you become one of the crazy lunatics stuck in a corner that has thousands upon thousands of Forma, and they absolutely have no need for it. So thanks for watching guys, I hope you found this one informative. If you learned something, please do feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and of course I will see you in the next one.